Darwin comes on, Pete, and considering he doesn't have a touch in their box, he doesn't have a shot, doesn't have an assist, doesn't nothing, I think everyone walked away from Anfield going, bloody hell, Darwin did well. He was like, he almost put in his best Roberto Firmino impression. He was dropping into midfield. Some of his best actions were actually defensively. He was winning big headers, tracking back, with taking the ball off players. It felt like, Darwin, maybe with a bit of point to prove. He's been desperate to get a chance. He might get one now, depending on how long Jota's out. But for a striker who didn't touch the ball in the opposition's box, didn't have a shot, didn't have an assist, he had a really strong game.
Yeah, but it was easy enough for him to be upset again and not getting more minutes after the international break and all that type of stuff. But he came on with a point to prove. He was very effective defensively. He made that one tackle in the first half on the edge of the box where I think most players wouldn't have made it because it's a risky one, but when you win it, everyone gets lifted up. Yeah. He's not most players, I think it's safe to say. Yeah. And then, as you say, the corner, which was right in front of me, he heard his big shout and he clears it out, and he was really, really up for it. And we'll talk more about him. I think that when he was chasing down Caicedo, I've never felt more of an inhale of breath from so many people. Oh my God! And he just basically sat down on the floor. I think even he finally realised, I might get myself sent off here. So I know I'm sorry to jump ahead and go on there, but like that, the very last second when that free kick, which was never ever ever a free kick, for him not to shout at the ref, kick the ball away, or do anything that could have got him a yellow, I think also showed signs of improvement. We know he was fully right, but he just screamed at the floor, which I think we all kind of did, didn't we? But yeah, it was maybe mature, but also the best of the wind-up merchant Nunez that we've got, and he's pushing and shoving and all that. It's all funny and good to watch if he doesn't get sent off and we win the game. So in that instance, it was a very good performance.
I think his yellow card was the old Nunez, wasn't it? He obviously decided, I'm having him.
I reckon it was fair enough as well. Because if you're going to do someone, do it there.
I thought he should have waited 5 minutes though. Like 10 seconds after the...
But he had the words of both of them, and you're like, he's got away with that, he did well. And then literally 2 seconds later, okay, no, he hasn't. That's just Nunez.
It's like when you keep taking your puppy outside to go for a wee, and then you let it back in the kitchen and wheeze on the floor. Darwin, we just told you.
He battled really hard as well, didn't he?
And I think Liverpool needs them too.
And then there was one pass, I think, to Gakpo, which was just sensational. Yeah, right inside the fullback.
There's a little flick around the corner to Salah. Yeah, he sets up the second overturn penalty with a lovely ball into Curtis Jones. Yeah. And he might have been getting more credit. But again, defensively, 2 clearances, 3 tackles. He got fouled 4 times, helps Liverpool get out a little bit. So I think we've always thought about Darwin, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, like, he much prefer to go in behind. He wants to run in behind, he wants to be running through on goal. Doesn't always score, doesn't always get it right, but that's what he wants to be doing. This time, even with his heat map, is more of his touches in their half, Peter. I think whether it was by instruction, I'm not sure it can be, because you're thrown on after half an hour. You've just got to adapt to the game. It felt like he read it really well, because Liverpool were getting overloaded a little bit and they had to get him dropping back in. So for him to be able to do it and do it effectively was a major plus point.
Yeah, he doesn't really play like a big number 9, but he has obviously the physicality of it, and he kind of had that performance where it was holding the ball up, bringing people into play, winning those little free kicks. There was one in added time when he was on the side and that Bhattachelys went through, and he just made himself go to the floor, which it's still definitely a free kick. It's clever, and it's exactly what you need in the last couple of minutes, kill a few seconds. And yeah, it was a very intelligent performance from a man whose football intelligence maybe is questioned sometime. And you've got to credit him for, as I say, not getting handed a lot of minutes really this season, not obviously getting goals and assists, but to come on, be such a positive influence and just wound up half of their team. And
he just did what the team needed, didn't he? It wasn't him playing for himself, he played for the team.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny when at the end when there's a Vega and Salah have a little bit of argy-bargy, and then I was thinking, Mo, calm down, let's just throw some water on this, and Darwin Nunez comes over, which is like throwing petrol on it. Like it's the last thing you want. But he goes, but I like the fact that he went over and was like, no, I can clearly see this fella's a big lad and you're a little, I'll get involved here. But that was nice. I mean, thankfully he did it by keeping us cool, which you say, Peter, which isn't always Darwin like, but again, that's another part where he's looking after his teammate really. The last thing he wants is Mo Salah getting some guy trying to have a little go at him. I'll just come and help you out, Mo. I'm all right. This.
I don't know whether Salah was delighted to see Nunez come and protect him, but as you say,
at one point Nunez pushes Salah and then he realises that it was Nunez who's done it to him.
Yeah, he's but I say a selfless performance that we said about Trent before. Selfless, it's a team game, and they look like a real team at the moment. They're defending as a team, they're doing stuff together as a team, and that is credit to Arne Slot definitely, and also the players who I've obviously took to what he's saying and what he's doing. And, you know, a player, as we said before, who isn't getting a lot of minutes, to come on and have that impact and have that, you know, that belief, and to just think that, you know, what can I do to help us win the game? It doesn't have to be score a 40-yard worldie. You can be winding up centre backs and full backs and trying to get fouls out of them, which he did plenty of times.
I suppose as well, John, like we don't, again, at time record, we don't know how significant Jota's injuries, but Arne Slot pretty much ruled him out on Wednesday straight away, so which suggests, you know, it's not nothing. There's a chance here Darwin's going to get a little run. There's 2 big games coming up in the next week. You know, he's got Leipzig, he's got Arsenal. 2 games I reckon the manager would have liked to have started Jota if he could. Maybe Leipzig, he might have done a little bit looking after Diogo Jota there, but yeah, he's got to be given a chance. So
I didn't see a way back into a starting position for Nunez.
Well, it was always going to be this, wasn't it? It was going to be when Jota got injured.
And then, yeah, you're right. And so now, you know, he will start games, and it's a big chance for him. And
again, we don't know how long he's out for, but there's a big run of games here, Peter. So Liverpool are going to need, if he can work as hard as he did there, because these 2 next games might need him to do that. At some point, they're going to need him to go the other way. And the only thing, I was with Errol yesterday, and he said the only criticism he had of Liverpool yesterday was actually they didn't really get the ball into their number 9 and a lot. You know what I mean? Like Darwin only had 20 touches in the game, and a lot of that was because he had to go and get it back himself. Yeah. I still think at times we're struggling to get the number 9 the ball. Jota's kind of feeling the same way. We're not like playing into them, we're not creating loads of chances for our strikers, so it's easy to get frustrated. Darwin's going to have to keep a little lid on that.
Yeah, I still don't really know what the role is out there, like the number 9 on the slot. Not in like a nasty way. You don't know whether they're supposed to come short, they're supposed to be help defending, they're supposed to be in behind. I'm sure it changes for every game, and it feels like most of the goals that we're going to score in that position are going to be the tap-ins, that when you're hoping the wingers beat the man and put it in, and it's unmissable chance for us. But yeah, I think him playing against Arsenal, against Gabriel with no Saliba next to him, you can see both of them winding each other up again, and you know, it could be a case of there's a red or a yellow either way, and you know, I wouldn't be able to confidently predict that Nunez won't be the one who gets sent off, but I think he'd have an impact that you know, he's got the character that will wind people up, and it's him. You know, it's perfect if he keeps his head, and you know, you want your centre forwards to be battling against people now, and because of his size, because of his physique, because of what he's just done against Chelsea, you can definitely do that. And you know, we look at Curtis Jones taking his chance. If Darwin Nunez takes his, then it's his position to hold down.
I mean, I suspect that the game against Arsenal is going to be pretty much like the Chelsea game. They're going to have a lot more possession than us. We're going to be defending and keeping them at bay. So Nunez is going to have to play the same way. So that's quite good, really. You know, he's not going to be battling in their penalty area very much. It's going to be outside. So.
Or maybe he can use his pace on the counter attack against whoever they decide.
And obviously Gakpo, I mean, he didn't have the greatest game for me. I don't know what other people thought, but wasn't in the game a lot. But he was, as always, he works hard, doesn't he? Yeah. But next week, you know, we'll have Diaz, I'm fairly certain, and that will give us a bit more on the break.
Absolutely. And again, no Saliba for them, so we'll go and have a little go on whoever's next.